Sometimes I feel that my suffering could be from my previous incarnation sins, as my current small lifetime has been honest and straightforward. Is there any way we can change the destiny to be peaceful? Good karma means good fruits. Sometimes I feel that my suffering could be from my previous births, because my current small lifetime has been honest and straightforward. Meaning that I do not find anything in this lifetime which should result into the kind of suffering that I am going through. Means that this is a destiny. Suffering is a destiny. Can we change the destiny? So again, let us come back to Vedanta as to the mechanism of suffering. Suffering has two components. One is the event that happens out there, in terms of something happened, something did not happen, somebody treated me one way, etc. This is what happens out there. And secondly is my participation in that. So suffering is a mental thing. Mental suffering cannot happen unless I also contribute into that. And that is where the free will is, understand. I may not have the freedom to control what other people do to me even. And they may treat me in a certain way. The life may treat me in a certain way. It's possible. Then also you may have option that can be explored. But at the same time, I must know that I am also contributing something to that situation and suffering. So pain at the physical level is one thing, and suffering at emotional level is another thing. So by suffering we mean emotional suffering. Physical pain is destiny. Physical situations are all destiny. But suffering is something that I have control over. So why the suffering? As I said, I am the cause of my suffering. Alright? It may not be so simple as that. Swami, this person insults me, humiliates me, mistreats me, or my efforts are not successful. How do you say that I am responsible? Then if somebody, what happens is that my suffering, as I said earlier, comes from my judgment of myself as to who I am. And if I look down upon myself, if I think I am no good, I think that I am lacking, wanting, inadequate, no good, that's what makes me unhappy. So when I am treated in a certain way, then what happens is, I judge myself the same way. Suppose somebody says, stupid, alright. I have freedom now to say that it is that person's opinion. As long as I say it is this person's opinion, it doesn't affect me. When I make it my opinion, then I call myself stupid, then I become unhappy. So I become unhappy when I call myself stupid, not when you call me stupid. What happens is, already I have complexes about myself. So when somebody says you are stupid, I sympathetically join and I declare I am stupid. That's what makes me unhappy. Meaning that all along it is my opinion or my perception of myself that is the cause of my unhappiness. But it has become habitual that I perceive myself in the same lens in which the world is perceiving me. So world insults me, I believe that I am insultable. World rejects me, I believe that I am rejectable. World humiliates me, I believe I am humiliatable. Which doesn't have to be. This person humiliates me, okay, that is that person's opinion. I do not have to make it my opinion. Well, Swami used to give this example that 4 people are walking away. You call them, hey Karthik. Karthik looks back. Hey Devadatta. Devadatta looks back. Hey Vishnu Datta. He looks back. Hey stupid. All 4 look back. Why? Because basically everybody has that kind of a complex within themselves. It is because of my complexes about myself, my non-acceptance of myself, my looking down upon myself, my low self-esteem about myself is what causes me unhappiness. And what the world does, it just triggers that. It is potentially there. By calling me stupid, just triggered. And I call myself stupid. So remember that you have freedom not to be unhappy or sad. If we see this distance, that I am becoming sad not only because of what somebody else did, but also on account of what I am doing to myself, which becomes so habitual, we don't even know. We don't know that we are doing it. It becomes so habitual that you tell me something, automatically I tell that to myself. But if we see that process, what I am doing to myself, how I am hurting myself by all the time branding myself the same way that the world brands me, I have the freedom not to be sad or suffering. It's not easy to do that, but this is there. So we should know this. That when I say I am suffering, that I am also a party to it. And what is called free will is I need not that much freedom I have of not joining them, of not judging myself based on the way others judge me. That freedom I have. Suppose we habitually do that and become unhappy. When the mind becomes quiet, we can go back to that event. Why did I become unhappy? Because that person treated me in a certain way. Alright, that person treated me in a given way. That person said this about me, whatever. Then what? What did I do to myself? I'll find out that I also did the same thing to myself. So then I can work with my mind, you have freedom not to do that. That I can't control the world, that's called destiny. But I have the freedom not to brand myself, not to hurt myself. So let us understand the process of our mind. This will be good introspection. This will be a good introspection or a good self-help. Good, you can become your own therapist, as Swami used to say. We can become our own therapist in this way. That we recognize or identify these habits of our mind. First, recognize the habits, and then we train the mind to change that habit. You don't have to say this to yourself. Why do you say that? Why do you think you are an idiot? Why do you think you are miserable? Why do you think you are no good? Why do you think so? Suppose you are no good, so what? Suppose I am an idiot, so what? Okay, I am an idiot. If I can be happy with being an idiot, no problem, really. What is wrong with being a fool? Just because the world says you should not be a fool, so what? This is their problem, not my problem. Right now I am making their problem my problems. Alright, I did not know a given thing. I did not know. You don't know anything. Alright, doesn't mean I don't know anything. That given thing I did not, doesn't mean you can't do anything right. That's what we are told. You can never do anything right. You don't know anything. That's a broad judgment they give. One thing I could not do. That doesn't mean anything I could not do. One thing I did not do right. Doesn't mean I don't do anything right. Our Swami used to give an example. That once he was invited for bhiksha as they do, and so people are sitting on a big dining table and the host is sitting beside and says something in the ear. Swamiji, you know that fellow across the table, he's a failure. It's a broad brush judgment. Swami says, oh, that's interesting. Then we see what a creature called failure. What does he look like? So with a failure, one should fail in everything, right? So that person picked up a parotha. So that he did successfully. He made peace of that. That is successful. He dipped it in dal. Successful. Put it in his mouth. Successful. He chewed it. Where is failure? And there's this broad brush branding that is being done. We brand ourselves also like that. And then, well, let us be right. I'm not saying that I'm a successful person. Okay. I admit that I did not do that correctly. Okay. That doesn't mean that I don't do anything correctly. That one happened that. Doesn't mean that it always happens like that. But I keep on branding myself that way. And being frustrated with myself. And the world always obliges me. World is ready always to pour butter in the fire. In Gujarati they say, sprinkling salt on the wound. There's a wound, sprinkling salt. So wound is all, they sprinkle salt. But when will it burn? When there is wound. That wound is within me. I have the freedom to heal that wound. Then let them sprinkle the salt. So I certainly sympathize with a person, and I know there is a lot of suffering in the life, but let us understand this mechanism of suffering. Let us understand our mind. Let us understand our habit. How habitually we keep on branding ourselves, judging ourselves, superimposing things upon ourselves. Sometimes, by following right or dharmic way, we hurt some people unintentionally. Sometimes by doing right thing, we unintentionally hurt some people. Is that unavoidable conflict? That's unavoidable conflict. Is it a dharma? So when I am doing a dharmic action, and somebody gets hurt, is it a dharma? How can you sail through such situation while maintaining harmony of the universe? So, it is true that when we are even performing a dharmic action, certainly we have to be cautious. For example, Manusmriti says, Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. You should speak truth. You should speak truth in a pleasant manner. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. If it is truth but unpleasant, you better refrain from saying that. Does it mean, Swami, I should not speak truth? No. You discover ways of speaking the truth in a pleasant manner. Priyamapi na nutam bruyat. Oh, Swami, you say that I speak that which is pleasant. Then all right, can I please the people by telling them lies? No. Should not, just because it is pleasant, you should not tell a lie. Just because it is truth, you should not say that is unpleasant. Just because it is pleasant, you should not say what is untruth. Speak truth as well as in a pleasant manner. It puts a responsibility on us. So sometimes we speak truth all right, but we are not careful of how our action will affect other people. So therefore, whenever we conduct ourselves in any situation, understand that what we do affects other people also. And as best as we can, we should take into account the effect that our action will have on other people. And still it is possible that you did not know that a given person would be affected. Okay, then you seek pardon from Lord, but learn from that. That look, this can happen. So next time I should be more careful. Like we are very enthusiastic. I remember many years ago when we were brahmacharis, in the ashram, and then you volunteer, so you are serving the food. And the place from where I am coming, always forcing is a rule, Somebody says, this much, you give him more. So we think that we are that way of, making people happy. That's how. So that's what I did to somebody. And that person got upset. He said, why? Why do you give me this much? I was shocked. What I thought was an act of affection, of serving more, was taken as an offense. And I realized, okay, next time I won't do. So thus we keep learning also. How the ways of thinking are different, therefore everybody does not think the same way, and thus we keep learning. Yes, it is true that when we are functioning in the world, it is possible that even though our intentions are good, we wind up hurting some people. We should learn from that and refine ourselves. So experience will help us refining ourselves in our relationship. So that much we can do. And slowly harmony will come.
I've got a question, sir. I'm a little confused. So is it the truth that really hurt in this example, or is it how you presented it, avoided it? I'm a little confused.
Good. Is it the truth that hurts the person, or is it the way you present it hurts the person? The way you present it. The truth itself may not hurt if you present it in a proper way. Sometimes people are very proud. I always speak truth. I don't care what anybody feels. No, that's not right. So that is sometimes your pride, your arrogance, that I always speak truth. I don't care how you feel. No, that's not right. So it is not always truth that hurts, it is the way it is presented. You can present the truth also in a manner that does not hurt the person. Hey, one-eyed fellow, that's the truth, but that will hurt him. So there can always be a more kind way of expressing something. If you are really compassionate to that person. So compassion is a very beautiful and a required quality to be brought in our interaction with the world. Being compassionate, even though somebody is wrong, even though what we say is true, but when I speak truth, what is my intention? Is it to tell that person what you did was wrong? Can be. One-upmanship, holier than thou. Or am I compassionate to the person? When the person says something which is wrong, say, am I compassionate? All right, person can make mistake. Person can be and is helpless. See, people do the wrong things not out of helplessness. So if we are compassionate toward helpless and other people, we will come out in a manner which is non-hurtful. So yes, truth spoken with compassion will likely avoid the hurt. Likely avoid the hurt. How can you change the perceptions of the self which obstruct the happiness? We just talked about. By Karma Yoga. Meaning by right values and right attitudes. The perception of self will change in course of time when we commit ourselves to right values and right attitudes. You know why? Because right values and right attitudes represent the true nature of myself. So when I act with right attitude of non-violence, of compassion, of kindness, then I am bringing myself into the play. When the attitude of humility, of offering, then also I am bringing my true self. Meaning that when I have the right values and attitudes, I am more true to myself. And that gives a greater opportunity for the self to manifest. So, thus by living life of right values and attitudes, slowly our perception of ourselves will change. That's the whole idea of changing the perception of ourselves. Good deeds give good results. Evil intention of work has consequences, that is, Papa Punya has inherent concept of reward and punishment. Does man, or husband, or wife, or parents, or government have right to punish others? When karma itself is going to punish, the question is, when karma, good karma rewards you, and evil karma punishes you. So should somebody else punish you now? Should authorities punish? The justice system, the government, laws are there to punish? Is it necessary? That's a good question, and that's a big debate these days. Whether this capital punishment should be there or not. Should we be punishing them? Do we have the right to take somebody else's life? When we have not given them the life, do we have the right to do that, etc.? So these debates are going on, but there is something called the harmony in the society also. So whenever this person's papa karma, whenever that will punish him, that will. But if his habit has become such that it is disruptive to the society, then we have to constrain that person. It is not so much as punishment as much as constraining a person. We can call it punishment when the person is imprisoned. But really, it is constraining him so that he does not do harm to the society. His presence in the society is harmful. His karma may punish him, but his nature of doing bad karma will not change. See, karma will not change him. Karma will punish him, but not change him. Therefore, his tendency again to do disruptive karma continues, and thus the person continues to disrupt the society. They will have to restrain the person. It's not punishment. Although in the olden days punishment also was there, give him 100 whips and stuff like that, to teach him a lesson. So should we teach him a lesson? His karma is going to teach him the lesson, but that may take a long time. And therefore, we teach him a lesson also, so that he refrains from doing this again. Idea is to help him refrain from doing this, become disruptive to the society. So, that's the purpose of the punishment. And to maintain the order, we have to do that. Otherwise, you violate the speed laws on the road, your action will punish you. When? In the meantime, 15 accidents may happen. So you have to restrain that person. We take away his license, we call it punishment because he has violated or abused his freedom. So you take away the freedom. That can be called punishment, called restrainment. But for smooth functioning of society, anugraha and nigraha both are required. Anugraha and nigraha. For example, the example is this, that when a charioteer is driving his chariot, the horses are there. The horses are on the track, he lets his rein loose, they can run. Gives them the freedom. But when he finds that they are running too fast, then he may overturn the chariot, he will restrain them. Then he signals them to go on the right, they don't, then he will whip them also. That's called nigraha, restrainment. Therefore, for proper administration of anything, Anugraha and Nigraha. Giving freedom and restrainment both become necessary because the human being can become unrestrained. There are impulses in human being or living beings where his own temptations, his greed, his jealousies, his anger may make him commit acts which are detrimental to others. So needs to be restrained. So anugraha and nigraha, rewarding and restraining, both are required for proper administration in any relationship. Between parents and children also. Anugraha and nigraha. Parents also give freedom to children. You want to go to movie? Okay, beta. Want candy? All right. But then you find that this fellow is not getting spoiled. That candy will hurt his health. Then nigraha. So anugraha and nigraha. If he is not there, only nigraha is there, you keep on restraining, that also will hurt him. And keep on permitting, that also will hurt the child. In every relationship, husband and every relationship, and particularly when relationship between the authority and others, not between equals. Relation with parents and children, the government and the subject, authorities or controllers and those who are controlled. There both is necessary, anugraha and nigraha. Swamiji, actionlessness. But then how do you manage your responsibilities? Now we are talking about a state where a person has no responsibility. This is our notion that I am doing things and I am for as long as that is there, certainly responsibilities are there. At one point you discover that things are being done, that even you are not doing anything. It is Ishvara that is doing everything. You are merely an instrument in his hand. A time comes. In fact, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna also, whether you fight this battle or not, nothing is going to change. Hey Arjuna, no warrior in either army is going to survive whether you fight or not, because I have already taken care of everybody. I do the things. We think that we are doing it, that is out of ignorance. As long as that is there, responsibility is there. Realize you are not doing anything. He is doing everything. You have no responsibility. Things get done. That's what you discover. So yes, actionlessness also means freedom from all notion of responsibility. Responsibility is a notion. As long as we have the notion, do it rightly. But when you become free from that notion, there is no responsibility left. A tamasic person can present like as if he or she is comfortable with himself or herself. Tamas sattva means tranquility. Rajas means activity or restlessness. Tamas means dullness. So, two extremes look alike. A totally dull person also looks like actionless. And the total tranquil person also looks actionless. One is freedom, free from need to perform action. Other is incapable of performing action. Understand this. A tamasic person is incapable of doing anything. Therefore he is not doing. Other fellow is free from need to do. Therefore he is not doing. The difference between day and night. So, a tamasic person cannot be comfortable with the self. Cannot be. So just because outwardly a person is not doing something doesn't mean that the person is tranquil or comfortable, no. So you know, whether a tamasic person is not happy, within himself or herself not happy. But so unhappy or so dull or so inactive that just has has lost all initiative, all motivation to do anything. Tamas. Those moods come to us also now and then. Not that, you're not always sattvic, not always rajasic, not always tamasic. They come and go. But somebody is more predominantly sattvic, somebody predominantly rajasic, somebody predominantly tamasic can be so. We discussed that most people are trying to be politically correct, meaning that you present yourself in a manner which will be acceptable to others. You don't want to disrupt anything, you don't want to displease them, you don't want to lose their votes, basically, and support, because it's important to you. So politically correct behavior, politically correct statement. This is nothing but damba. It's all pretentiousness. But Puja Swami always says, fake it till you make it. Means, say correct things anyway. Does this mean it is really okay to say the correct thing as a practice to make it a habit and that is acceptable? And if so, does that not mean we are not true to ourselves? See, what is meant by politically correct is, I know what really correct thing is, and I am deliberately presenting it in a different way, not to ruffle, any feathers. So a politically correct person knows that he is telling a lie. You can call it white lie or lie. So you can never be right or help yourself by telling a lie. What is meant by faking till you make it is that even though within yourself you think that you want to tell a lie, you say what is right anyway. And time will come when you will be able to say right without conflict. Right now, my mind says tell him wrong. Don't tell him. But I said no. I have taken a vow of saying what is right. Therefore, I do it anyway. So, that creates a conflict in my mind. That requires me to restrain my impulse to say something wrong. So, even though it is not my intention, or even though it is not my right attitude, I still do it. For example, I may not be a very charitable person really. But then I act as though I am a charitable. See, it is acting as though you are right, you are good, not acting. See, this politically correct person is incorrect inside and acts as though he is correct. No, I want to be correct inside and therefore I want to act as though I am correct outside. I value for being a truthful person. I value for being a charitable person. Right now, my mind is not charitable, but I want to make it charitable. Therefore, I deliberately perform an act of charity. Even though I am not honest to myself, because inside say, hey, don't give him. But I make myself do. That is called fake it. I fake as though I am a charitable person. And I perform an act of charity as a real charitable person would do, even though I am not really charitable. So when I smile at you, even though inside I don't like you, if I value, not to cheat you, I value that I really want to be friendly to you. I am not able to be friendly right now because of my own mind, but I value of being friendly to you. So I smile, you follow? That is called faking until you make it. Who is politically correct? I hate you inside and I have no problem, and I maintain that hatred and smile at you so that you don't know what is within myself. No, that is not faking. Faking is my value. that I want to have the real smile someday. What is the cause of the wars? Does the war start because of men like Duryodhana, or the war starts to reduce the population? Please explain. Then there is a quote, war starts in the mind of man. So first of all conflicts take place in the mind of the man. All external conflicts are the manifestation of conflict within. All external violence is the manifestation of violence within. So it is my violence within, conflict within, that comes out as conflict outside. Basically conflict with my own self. Conflict with my own self. Inability to be happy with myself. And so what do? And so that conflict inside, and somehow I don't know that I am the problem to myself. I think you are the problem to myself. So when I brand somebody else as a problem to me, then I attack that person. I think that you are causing me unhappiness. Whereas in fact, conflict is within me, violence is within me, but I brand somebody else. And that's how all wars are due to that. Of course, wars are due to human beings, wars are due to greed. Only lots of war can take place due to the dvesha or aversion or hatred, or the need to revenge, or war can be due to greed also. Expansionism. You keep on expanding, Take one town. In the past also, the kings just went out with their army to conquer one. Those fellows have not done anything. That's all greed of power. Or you attack because you did something to me, I'll take revenge. So thus these wars have two reasons. Either because you hurt me in the past and therefore now I am strong enough to settle the account. So a lot of conflict that arose in communist dominated countries, all these, Slovenian countries, where all the suppressed anger and resentment because of the authorities, they suppressed. Moment authority went away, all those things came out and they started fighting. This is what you fellows did 500 years ago. I'm taking revenge today. So if you go to Slovenia and look at the history, you find one tribe attacking other, but those fellows had done it in the past, and they're taking revenge. So either it is taking revenge or it is greed. That I want to, the greed for power. Again comes some insecurity. So insecurity or this revenge, these are the motive forces for these wars. So if you look at the wars, that's why they want to expand their kingdom, their empire, conquer the whole world, impose their philosophy upon others and things like that. That is not our job. Lord Krishna's job it may be to reduce the population, not our job. Meaning we cannot undertake a war with an agenda to reduce population now. That is not the act of a person with this limited knowledge. It can be act of the infinite wisdom. That's a different thing. Infinite wisdom decides that it's okay. So infinite wisdom may decide that let there be an earthquake and this happens, or let there be a hurricane, this happens, etc. That's a different thing. But not that we create a war to reduce the population. No, we cannot do that. That's not right. All right, I think that takes care of all the questions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.